Great to see you all here at Twickenham, and I won't take up much of your time because I know Ian, Andy and I want you to get out there, and we've left a lot for you to mow this morning. And if you want to go the other way, we'll have lunch and we'll watch you from the window here. Is that okay? Just keep the line straight. I don't want that lawn, what we've seen earlier. Okay. Although my lads reckon I mow with a white stick these days. I don't know what they mean. I've been here 16 years. Ian and Andy have been here a lot longer than myself. There are a team of 3 of us, and we look after the pitch, and we look after everything that's green at the RFU, apart from the seats, thankfully. We oversee the training ground down at Pennyhill Park, and during my time here, we've gone from a fibre sand pitch to a Desso Grassmaster. We had the Desso Grassmaster put in 7 years ago, and to be honest with you, we've never looked back. It's the best system that I have ever worked with, and it's changed the way that I think about groundsmanship and what we can achieve and how often we can use the pitch. And it makes you a bit of a better groundsman in so much as you're more positive, you can do. It's a can-do attitude because it's a can-do system. We had the system installed, as I say, in 2012, 3 years prior to the World Cup. Ian, Andy and myself travelled around the country and we looked at a few systems up and down the country. Ian and I went to the Aviva Stadium in Ireland and looked at the system there. And we came back and we convinced the board that Desso was the way forward. We put the pitch in, we've got a fantastic drainage system, we've got an irrigation system, we've got an under-soil heating system. But the magic bit is the 3% of artificial. 3% of our pitch is an artificial polypropylene sown 8 inches deep in a loop, 20 millimetres on the surface, and it's every 20 millimetres. We have 10,000 square metres out there. The machine was 2 metres wide. It was taking it 23 hours to go once up the pitch. We ended up with 3 machines out there, and it still took them getting on for 3 weeks to stitch it. We were nervous as kittens because in the rugby world, when I was in football, when I was at Old Trafford, if there were pigeons on the pitch, Alex Ferguson would go out and shoot the buggers. Here, we sort of have kids on the pitch before every game. We've had more kids than Dr. Bernardo's here. It's incredible. And that was a culture shock to me, but that's the way that rugby is. Our opening day on the pitch was September the 1st, 2012, and we hosted the London doubleheader. 2 games of rugby, the 4 London sides as were then, and they played on the pitch. We were as nervous as kittens, and it performed fantastic. It was such a success that the following weekend we had Lady Gaga Saturday and Sunday night. We actually stripped the 22 metres off at the south end, and we had a concert, because we don't only host rugby, we host concerts, and we have played NFL games here as well. We are a multi-use stadium, and we're really proud of the stadium. It's the biggest rugby stadium in the world. It holds 82,000 people, and we play 7 or 8 England games here every year, sell out 82,000 seats. In a fortnight's time, we've got the London Sevens, which is capped at 50,000. They will go. The week after that, we've got the Gallagher final for the Premiership. That will be a sellout. But what's good about rugby and what's good about our pitch is that we've learnt to manage it. The 3 of us sat down 16 years ago and we said, listen, we host every level of rugby. 4 weeks ago, we played Scotland on the Saturday. And on the following Wednesday, we played 4 games of schoolboy rugby. 4 games in one day. First game kicked off at 10, the 4th game kicked off about 4:30. 4 games of rugby. And to do that, you've got to have a really, really good pitch that can withstand that. Because although 2 of the teams were under 15s, and there's a marked significance in the growth of these kids now, I mean, they're much bigger than what I went to school with, I'm sure. The under-15s come out and they're in awe of the stadium, and you can see them open mouth looking round. The under-18s come out and they're as big as me, if not bigger. They come off for a shave at half time. They're bloody massive. And we have 4 games in one day. And the pitch We said, what we're going to do, we set a stall out. Everybody who plays on that pitch gets it looking like that. We don't not mark out. We don't only cut one way. We get in early and we double cut, and the schoolboys get the same pitch as the England team got 4 days earlier. And that's the pride that all of us in this room have. That's what we do. We don't leave anything at home. We take it work and we do it. Because that's what Ian and Andy and I take to bed with us at night. That image in our head is our pitch. And we've learnt in the last 7 years how to look after a Desso pitch. Its only failing, its only fault would be that it's a hungry pitch. We have to feed it on a very regular basis. And Ian, Andy and I sit down and we talk about the fertilisers, and we have like a toolbox meeting the week after, and we'll say, did that work? What did you think to that? We have to put up with logos. Sometimes the pitch will play that much better when it's been watered the night before. But if somebody's painted 3 dirty great logos on the Friday night, they're not keen on us washing it off. So we have to factor everything in. And it's all about the performance of the team. Usually it's England, and it's great. Eddie's fantastic. Eddie Jones, the England manager, he'll come out there and he'll go up to Ian and he'll say, are you all right, mate? Pitch is great. And then he'll walk off. That's it. That's him done. One of the coaches might come out and say, which way's the wind blowing? Which is hard to tell them because it's blowing a gale outside and it just comes over the roof here and down that wing. That is our input. We don't get any interference from the England squad, other than a couple of requests a couple of years ago. We had a really good day. I have a weather forecast every week, three days a week. We're in contact with John Ketley. You all remember John Ketley, the weatherman? I don't want you singing the song, but you all remember him. He writes to us and he gives us a weather forecast. And on a match week, it's a more detailed. And if there's anything around that might bother us, he'll either phone us or text us and give us prior warning. And we were playing Ireland on the Saturday. And it was the Beast from the East last year. And John sent the forecast in on the Friday and with a threat of snow. And the threat of snow was great. And I rang him and I said, John, what's the likelihood? And he says, Keith, take every precaution you can because there is snow about. You might not get it, but the chances are you will. So Ian, Andy and I sat down and we had a talk, said, right, we'll mark out in blue. We'll mark out in blue, and we got some shovels to clear the lines as and when. Ian and Andy sorted the blowers out, the leaf blowers, in case we could blow the snow off the lines, and we were set. We came in early doors on the Saturday morning, and we double cut the pitch across, and it looked magnificent, and there were snow flurries in the air. So Ian marked out in blue. And it looked a bit strange, but you could see every line, but it looked strange. First time in history the pitch had been marked out in blue. We've been here since 1909, and in 2018 we mark out in blue for the first ever time. About 1 o'clock, the referee turns up. And being an international, the referee is as unbiased as we can find. So we've flown the referee in from Australia, which is about as far away as you can get. And he came in and we were stood at the tunnel and he said, lads, we've got a problem. And we said, what's that, ref? He said, I'm colourblind. I can't see blue and green. So Ian Ayling became the first man in the world to mark out in blue and white on a match day. And I don't know whether anybody ever noticed it on the television, but the good news is it didn't snow. Ireland won, which is not good news. But about 8 miles ago at the Emirates, the Arsenal lads were clearing snow off the line. So John Ketley was within 8 miles of where the snow was going to be. But I think that's what groundsmanship's all about. It's being prepared. We all watch Country File on a Sunday night just to give us an idea of what the week is going to hold. And that's with the backup of John Ketley. We prepare things. What are we going to cook with? What are we going to feed with? We sit down and talk about fertiliser programmes to such an extent that we're almost obsessed with it. We know what we're doing. We know why we're doing it. Grass seeds, we chase after the best grass seeds. The tetraploids have come onto the scene in the last 4 or 5 years, and we've used them. We did a trial. We've only got the one pitch, but we did a trial. When we had the first game of American football, we all watched the game on the television, well, as long as we could stay awake, that was, and most of the game was down the middle. We had to go back in time because they mark out in feet and inches and yards, and they played down 18 feet in the middle. And we'd never seen anything like this. This is crazy. We'd had them down at Pennyhill Park, our training ground, and the coach will hold the ball and he'll say, okay, we'll attack 18 foot right, and everybody goes across to the right. 18 foot left, and he goes to a dash. And it's that precise. It's not sport, it's robotic. When I was at Man United, Fergie would say, right, we'll have a free kick on the edge of the box, and Bex would bend it in. And it was anywhere on the front of the box. It weren't 18 foot right. So we knew it was going to be like that. So we experimented. Ian sowed some bags of tetraploid through the middle 50 yards, leaving us with our wings just ordinary ryegrass, so that we could monitor it. Nobody else knew. The RFU didn't know what we'd done. That was our plan. That's what us three decided to do. And it worked. It worked. It played really, really well. It worked that well, we got rewarded with 2 games the next year. So we did the whole bloody pitch. But it's about having the pride, because that's our aim. When you go out there today, and hopefully you'll think the pitch is good, and I know you'll all be on your hands and knees looking for the deso, you're not going to find it. And I hope that you enjoy the mower, and I hope that the mowers will come into being. Very often, especially in the big stadia like ourselves or Wimbledon or Old Trafford, we get asked to stop mowing because we're interviewing Eddie and we don't want the hum of a mower in the background. I think the future is going to be electric mowers where those 3 are going by them smiling. Get on with it, you soft sod, we're still mowing. And that's important because we have a day, we plan our day. We were in early this morning so that we could cut the pitch before you guys got here. Because we didn't want you going home saying them lazy sods didn't do anything yesterday. They were at a meeting, we were feeding the face. It's about pride, it's about planning, and it's about us, everybody in this room, providing a surface for professionals or amateurs to play on. The second best part of my job is that I go around the country. I'm really lucky that I've got Ian and Andy who are so good that they can look after it. They ran the schoolboy games, they ran the students' games. I was around the country advising little community clubs who don't know where to buy a bag of grass seed from, who don't know where to get some grass seed from, and they're going to see the farmer, and they've got the best cattle in the world, and they're playing on it. And you go to places and you sort of look round and you see, and it takes you back. It takes you back. And people don't know what we know. We take it for granted that we speak to reps on the road and we can order this, that and the other, and we know where everything is. But that's the second best bit, is going around the country, meeting lots and lots of volunteer groundsmen, people who give up their Saturdays and Sundays and their Fridays to give sport to everybody. And sport's a great industry to be in. I've been in it all my life and love it. Never played at professional level, but I've been in professional level since 1970, which is a long time. Seen a lot of innovations, a lot of things have improved our lives. I was thinking this morning when the guys were bringing the new mowers in, when I started work, the new kid on the block was the fly mow with a big orange lid. I don't know if anybody's old enough to remember that. A lot less bother with an other, if you remember the saying. Now look at us. We've got electric mowers. Incredible. Incredible. Hope that you enjoy the day. Hope that we all take something out of this and we can go to our bosses and tell them about the new innovation. And I hope that you enjoy our pitch. If you don't like it, see Ian and Andy, I'm going home. Thank you ever so much. Thank you.